You can go ahead and get started if you want.
Good afternoon. Welcome to our Orientation Career Services presentation. I'm Tom Hallis, Director of ECU Career Services. And joining me today is John Stowe, our liaison for the College of Arts and Sciences. John?
How you doing? This is John Stowe.
Yes. I'll go ahead and connect to our PowerPoint presentation. I want to let everyone know that we'd like you to submit your questions as we go along. We'll be making every effort to answer them during the webinar. Should we not be able to answer all the questions during the webinar, we'll follow up with you at a later time. I want to let everybody know that this presentation will be recorded and will be available in a couple of days. I'm going to share my screen. And share my screen. And it doesn't look like I'm able to share my screen, Karen. We go ahead and stop the recording. There we go.
Yep, I can see it now.
You can see the webinar?
Yes.
Okay. Right, here we are. So as I said from the beginning, this is our Career Services orientation presentation. And I'm Tom Hallis, Director of the ECU Career Services. A brief overview of what we'll be talking about today. Essentially, what does Career Services do? When should students use the services? What services should first-year students use? How do students get help? I'll talk a little bit about the Federal Work Study Program, and we'll address questions. Again, I want to encourage you to submit your questions during the presentation. John will jump in when there's a question that we need to address during the presentation, and I anticipate there'll be some of those. Career Services provides one-on-one career counseling, helping students explore majors and decide what they want to do with a specific major. We assist students in securing on and off-campus part-time employment. We help students in securing internships and other experiential learning opportunities. We do a great deal of work reaching our employers to help them understand how to recruit ECU students. These are local, state, regional, national, and even some international employers. We teach students job search skills, and we assist them with grad school applications. And finally, and to many of you, most importantly, we help graduating students find full-time jobs. We want to emphasize that in addition to career services, there are many other resources that students need to take advantage of. Their academic advisors, their faculty, family members, and alumni. I want to emphasize alumni. The Alumni Association members are very interested in helping students find employment. And those alumni also provide great career advice. So keep in mind that alumni are very helpful to students. One of the main questions we receive from first-year students and parents is, when should students use career services? We want to emphasize that students should begin using our services today. We recognize that many students are uncertain about their major, regardless of having selected a major. And even for students that are certain of their major, many are uncertain or uninformed about employment opportunities. We know that with the COVID pandemic, that the job market, the economy has been disrupted significantly, and that areas of study and employment opportunities may not be available as they were just a year ago, and that the job market is changing dramatically. So it's very important that students understand how job opportunities may relate to their major. Students may make appointments through our website. And I do want to mention at this point is that I'll have a slide available at the end of the presentation that has many of the web addresses and phone numbers that I'm referring to. As I indicated earlier, this presentation is being recorded and will be available. But again, I want to assure you that all the websites and email addresses and phone numbers will be on the last slide that I'll present. I want to encourage students to begin doing job shadowing and information interviews. Job shadowing entails students spending time on the job, typically a half a day, and learning about a job firsthand. Now, with the COVID pandemic, it's very difficult for students to do job shadowing, but in still some situations they can do it. Informational interviews, on the other hand, can be done remotely, and those involve students interviewing individuals in professions that they're interested in. And the student would prepare questions to ask the professional so that the student can learn more about a given profession that they're interested in. In addition, informational interviews as well as job shadowing enable students to develop a network. And networks are very valuable for the future of students in getting internships and full-time jobs. I want to mention two tools that we encourage first-year students who are in orientation right now, to take advantage of. These major and career planning tools are Virtual Job Shadow and Bookis 2. The Virtual Job Shadow can be accessed at this address through our website, or again, at this address. Any email can register for it. So it's an open access resource. It helps students explore careers through short video clips. They can take a free career assessment, and they can schedule a one-on-one follow-up appointment with one of our staff. And I'll talk briefly about how they do that. This is a great tool to begin the career exploration process. And I want to emphasize, it's free for student use. The second assessment I want to talk about is Bookis 2. We recently added this assessment. We're very excited about how this will help students make major and career decisions. It has some in-depth career exploration and assessment. It combines these multiple assessments to assist the student. And like our other assessment, students can do a follow-up appointment with our staff to talk about the results. So I encourage students to go ahead and use this assessment now to explore major and career opportunities, and to begin meeting with our staff to go over the results. Students here at ECU can work with their liaisons, career counselors from our office who are assigned to each of the colleges. We have staff who are assigned to each of the colleges, and they assist the students at those individual colleges. Now, of course, at this point, they're doing all these interactions virtually, and we want to, again, encourage first-year students to take advantage of these virtual interactions. So our staff assists undergraduates as well as graduate students. Appointments can be made through our website, and all services, including making the appointments, are done through our handshake system. I want to talk a little bit about that. Handshake is our career services platform, which provides job and internship opportunities for ECU students and alumni. Last year, we had over 34,000 jobs and internships posted to the system. These are excellent opportunities, and as I indicated earlier, we work with local, state, regional, national, and international employers. So there are opportunities for our students in every industry that they're interested in. Now, these opportunities are not only off campus, but on-campus opportunities, and internships are available. In addition to job opportunities, our students can learn about upcoming events and sign up for campus interviews and job fairs. We will have job fairs, we will have campus interviews this year, but they're likely to be all virtual. We're planning for virtual interactions for the fall. We're hopeful that in the spring, we'll go to face-to-face opportunities. I want to briefly mention some of the skills and employers and professional schools are looking for. Now, I won't go through each one of these. You'll recognize that they're pretty common: communication, teamwork, motivation. You've heard of these before. But it's important that students reflect upon these skills, acquiring these skills, and be planful about acquiring these skills. Many of these skills will be acquired through their classroom educational experiences. Some will be acquired through co-curricular or outside the classroom activities, or through their internships, or their experiential opportunities. So it's important that students recognize that employers and professional schools are looking for these skills. In addition to those skills, we know that employers and graduate professional schools, but employers specifically, are looking for experiences, for part-time jobs, student organizations, particularly leadership roles, volunteering. Volunteering is particularly important for not-for-profit organizations. In many cases, it's difficult to get paid experiences in some not-for-profit industries. Internships, paid and unpaid internships, are very valuable, and employers are looking for that type of experience. Summer jobs, co-ops are much like internships, a longer-term commitment and greater depth of experience. Very valuable when it comes to employers. Faculty research. Some students forget that we have faculty who are doing research and have research opportunities. And employers look at these experiences as very valuable. And lastly, study abroad. Currently, there aren't study abroad experiences. We anticipate in the future there will be, and for students to consider those as they look at their education here at ECU. I want to spend a little time talking about student employment opportunities called Federal Work Study. Now, the Federal Work Study is a federally funded program which is based on financial need. So it's part of the financial need award or financial aid package. Students may work up to 20 hours during fall, 20 hours a week during fall and spring. Students would work when they're not in class, and they typically work less than 8 hours per day. We want students to recognize that while it's very important that they have these work experiences, school is their primary job. And we want to make sure that students understand that these part-time employment opportunities can begin no earlier than August 10th. Now, these on-campus as well as off-campus jobs will be posted starting July 15th. The application procedures will be outlined in each of these job descriptions. And I want to point out that for students who need assistance, they can contact Student Employment at this information, which again, I'll provide at the conclusion of this presentation. Very important that students that have Federal Work Study awards, that they print out the hiring authorization form before they leave home, ideally, but when they get to campus and start applying for positions, that they have the hiring authorization form. When they have work study job interviews, they want to make sure they have the form with them, present it to the interviewers. If the student doesn't have a hiring authorization form, they want to check with financial aid or go on Pirate Port to see about their financial aid award. When students are getting hired for financial aid award, or excuse me, a work study job, they'll need to provide proof of identity and employment eligibility. Some of the most common documents are Social Security card, ECU 1 card, your student identification, or your current passport. Now, I mention these documents now is because many students, when they leave home, don't bring their Social Security card with them and may or may not have their current passport. Of course, they will have their ECU 1 card, but typically they'll need at least 2 of these documents to satisfy the requirements for identification. So family members and students, remember, before you come to campus, bring your Social Security card or your current passport as well. Should you have need for assistance on federal work study or financial aid, you can contact Student Employment. You can view a instructional webinar on federal work study, and you can contact financial aid by phone or by email. As we conclude the presentation this afternoon, I want to have a couple parting words for you. First, don't consider career services an optional activity or something for seniors only. What we know is that students who begin the process early are more prepared when they're searching for internships or other experiential opportunities, and when they're preparing to graduate, are much more competitive than students who haven't prepared the process or used our services for senior year. We think students should be using career services every year, but particularly they should get started as freshmen and continue working with us throughout their time here. Some students feel pressured to decide, and we want to encourage students to begin the exploration process their freshman year and be open to different opportunities, recognizing that they can continue to work to make a decision, but not feel pressured to decide. The last thing I want to mention for family members, if you or your business has an internship or full-time job with your organization, please contact me and let me know about these opportunities, and we'll share these with other ECU students and graduates. As I mentioned earlier, I'm going to leave this contact information up for career services, for handshake, financial aid, and student employment, and see if we have any questions, and we go ahead and address those questions now. Well, as it seems we don't have any questions, we'll go ahead and conclude our presentation. Again, I'm Tom Hallis, Director of Career Services. I want to thank you for your time today and look forward to seeing you here in August.